Hey guys, welcome back to DadVGirls After Hours, the #1 UK podcast.
Yeah.
For at least 5 minutes it was.
No, it was 48 hours. Can I just say, for 48 hours, I felt like Adele.
Adele?
When Adele won #1, that's how I felt on Spotify for like 48 hours.
Yeah, that's why he was walking around the house acting like a diva. This is actually the first episode we filmed since it went out, because we actually got 4 filmed before it actually aired.
Because every time we were talking about filming, people were like, well, just go in and film a few, because you actually might end up just binning like the first 1 or 2, and it's just practice. And we ended up having really good filming. We did somehow really well.
But we weren't able to react on the next episode to how well it's been received. And we were absolutely buzzing. Like, I did not expect our podcast to do anywhere near as well. I thought, is anyone really going to watch it? It's just me and Sarah talking for an hour.
Yeah,
and the response has been amazing. Like,
we've been like, even Casey being away has been listening to them, like ringing me like, Mum, it's so good. I was like, oh, thanks. Any feedback? And she's like, no, it was really good.
Because also, I think what we weren't sure is like the audience who watches our main DadVGirls YouTube channel is so varied. Like, we have like really young audience, and then we also have like young mums and we have parents, and so I think we're quite surprised. Like, people were either saying like, I'm a parent of a child that watches your DadVGirls. We watch it as a family, but the podcast is really for me.
Yeah.
Or saying, I've been watching you guys since I was younger. I've grown up with you guys, and now I'm ready for this slightly more mature content.
I'd say mature, but
it's not that mature, is it?
It's not. I feel like we're not really acting our age at all.
No.
Or are we? I don't know. Some conversations about farts, we probably...
Sarah's saying that because I just said to the guys, like, can we just cut out a part of a different episode? And I'm not going to talk about it. I was just like, it's just too childish, right?
But because we haven't been able to address the first episode that ever went out, everyone is bugging, like, why did we not finish the burglary story? But obviously I was addressing the story because of Grace's messy room. It wasn't actually about that story. So, just we didn't think.
A very quick recap. If you didn't watch... Yeah, but if you didn't watch that episode and you're thinking now you're thinking what's going on.
Go back, watch 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is number 5. Go back.
So basically what happened is we were trying to talk about how Grace might have ADHD, and one of the examples was how bad her room is, that when the police come because they thought we'd been burgled, they said, oh, her room's been ransacked by burglars. And we were like, that's just Grace. But thing is, there was no burglar. Weirdly, your bedroom door.
Someone had shut the door throughout the day. And
I just said your bedroom door, like we don't share a room.
Well, you weren't there, that's why you were saying it, I think. But someone shut the bedroom door, and somehow it kind of like locked itself, which never happened. It was very freak, like weird. But nobody was in there, thank goodness. But we were all safe. We were all good.
Yeah. So anyway, I think my mind went blank.
It does that a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Recently, my mind we were interviewing someone for a job. You weren't actually at that interview.
Oh, you have done it in the...
I've done it loads of times. I interviewed 3 people in one day for a new job that we've got in our business.
No, you did do that because he came back for the second interview with me, and you did it. You apologised for having a mind blank in his first interview, and then you had it within the second.
Oh, for goodness sake.
It's okay.
He was the 3rd interview of the day.
Yeah.
I would be talking and I would just stop and be like, I'm really sorry, I don't know what I was saying. And I'm thinking, he's not even going to want to work here because he's thinking, this guy's an idiot. He doesn't know what's going on.
No, you've been very clear. It's like your ADHD. I think that's the good thing with you. You've always been very open and honest. So
yeah. Because the thing is...
It's then not coming across rude, you know? Like
just talking about the ADHD thing, because obviously we mentioned in one of the episodes that Grace was going to get tested for ADHD. And I think as well, we are going to touch on some negativity that we've had since starting the podcast. But I saw a clip on TikTok and people were saying like, oh, I can't believe they're exposing Grace. They're just using the podcast to like talk negative, or exposing. I'm like, having a test for ADHD should have 0 stigma to it.
Yeah.
I have no stigma about my ADHD. No. I think if you've got it, you got it, you own it. There's like, you're just wired different. Yeah. And I don't think it's something that it doesn't even occur to me that it's something that people would want to hide. And I'm saying this because I want people to know who are watching, if you have ADHD, like, I do not think you should be ashamed. You should not be ashamed of it.
We do have severe special needs. So we have always said like whatever that may be.
Yeah.
Like,
and obviously Grace
Grace
obviously has given us permission to, if we share anything about our kids on this podcast, Of course.
about ADHD or even autism or stuff, like people I've given advice to before, like parents, when they've said about not sure if they should get their child tested, I don't think it changes the child. It actually changes the way other people around, like teachers,
How you
parents,
interact with
how
the
they
child.
interact with them, how they tell them off, because you could go from thinking your child is naughty to then being ADHD. And like, for example, with Chloe, we don't know or whatever with ADHD, but she definitely has a hyperactive thing. So when she goes to bed, before with all of our other children, we've never laid with them. We've always been able to put them down, say goodnight, walk out. Chloe is a different kettle of fish. She can't calm down. I think we spoke about it on our YouTube before.
Yeah.
We have to lay with her. And I feel like it's our mind of like, well, if she did have that, then what's the harm in us treating her this way?
You just
It's
have a
not
different
working
approach.
of us trying to tell her off and keep her in bed.
Yeah.
She didn't, and then she'd cry and wake everyone else up, and it was stressful for everybody. Whereas this way, it's like half an hour. This is what
I
you
just
got
feel
to
like
do.
we're so past the whole having a stigma around having
definitely.
autism,
And I
having
don't think a
ADHD.
lot of people have. Like in general now, I think in life,
Yeah.
like a lot of people, it's so
Yeah.
open now and so openly spoke about. I do think.
And also, I think there was so many positive comments about people saying about us talking about my ADHD.
Yeah,
And a lot of
yeah.
partners being able to relate, saying, oh, my partner has
Yeah.
ADHD, like hearing how you cope or what my...
Because even in the beginning, do you remember when you were saying you got ADHD? I was like, no, you're just a man. Like you're just men. You're forgetful and it's like it's a manly thing. You got man flu. That's how I even thought of it. But
Yeah.
now, as you're getting older, it does
It's got
get more
worse.
apparent. Yeah, I think.
It has
I
got
think
worse.
like the more into business we are and we work together, I can
There's more
really
things
see.
going on in my brain.
On the flip side of that, no one actually knows you as well as I. Like I think I even know you better than you know yourself sometimes.
I think you do, yeah.
So like with your PA, when we've had to get a PA, like I know how it works with you and what.
You organise me so well because I want to have like a
Some would
huge...
say controlling in the negative comments.
Guys,
But I organise.
guys, if you see me blink twice if I need help, right? Save me. No, I think yeah, like I keep lists, right? I work off lists and I have to just like, and I chuck loads of stuff and I have this huge list and it's never ending because you can never get to the
Yeah.
bottom of it. Even if you tick 5 things off, I add 10 things. And then you come up with this thing of like me not seeing the list, but
You're
just
so
having
overwhelmed. If
having
you see
you-
that list,
yeah.
like we always say, like I don't get the good Joel at home because, and what I mean by that is that your brain is constantly overthinking and you just aren't in the present moment. Even if you are, you're not. Like I can.
If I don't have a productive day at work or feel like I've had a productive day,
Yeah.
when I get home, I find it so hard to switch off and be
Yeah.
present because, and I try, but I just can't switch in. But if I have a really productive
Yeah.
day at work, I'm so present at home.
Yeah.
And then you've noticed that. So you're like, okay, we like,
So what you do now, because it might help others, if
Yeah.
like, especially for people,
well, yeah,
businesses,
it might
they
help
have-
others if they have a PA.
I was
That's so
gonna say, if
relatable,
they
isn't
did,
it?
or, no, I'm saying if they were in business and this is something they could do, because I do feel this has really helped you,
But even if you don't
Or-
have a PA,
or in some way.
but I had, like Sarah was helping with this
Yeah,
before I had a
yeah.
PA and she would basically just select like, say 3 or 4.
But even if it is
Okay,
like,
I won't finish
no,
my
sorry,
sentence.
sorry. I was gonna say, but even if it is a child and it's their parent, like there is so many ways that this actually would work. Like maybe it's something that could help.
So
you with
basically,
grades.
what works for me is basically selecting like almost like a bare minimum list, right? And say if you look at my long list and you take like 3 things of like, of course I could get that done today. You put that on my, just a single list on its own with just 3 things. I look at that and I think, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
Smash that out, tick them off. And you can always add more.
Yeah.
But when you add too many, I will
It's
do less.
overwhelming. Yeah, so I think to be clearer, because I don't think you explained it very well, you do a really big list that is shared on notes, and then she will then take that away so you can't see it and put it in her own notes, and then she just gives you 3 to 4 things,
Yeah.
depending on how
Thanks for
big they are.
mansplaining what I literally just said, but that's
You
cool.
didn't
So-
explain it very well, and people would have,
Yeah.
like the burglary, been like, but how does that help me that you only see 3 things? How does that happen?
And how do I get a
So
PA?
if they have a list of things that they really want to do,
Yeah.
somebody else
I
can
always
just-
feel so poncy if I ever mention that I've got a PA. I think it sounds so, it's almost like, ugh, like as in, oh, he's got a PA. Like, but it's so pivotal to me because I look at my PA as, and this is how I say it when I've hired PAs before, like, as in, you are essentially that part of my brain that doesn't work the way most people's does because of ADHD. So I have like all these ideas and all this stuff that's great. Having ADHD is also a superpower, but I need someone to organize my thoughts and organize my time and make sure I'm at meetings.
You need
it's
need
not
that,
like it's not like a nice thing of like, oh yeah, I've got someone to make me coffee when I get in the office. It's like, it's so crucial.
Listen, in the business, you know how tight I am with money. If you didn't need a PA, you would.
PA would be the last thing to go.
No, you genuinely do need one, because it was me for a little while out in that a little section.
Yeah.
And although I did it very well, I just didn't have the time. It wasn't. It just wasn't good. Plus, I really like your PA because she gets at you like I do in the office, and it's really fun.
I don't. Yeah. Do you know, this is quite strange actually. It's quite a weird vibe in the office sometimes. Like, we've got a great team and it's great culture, and it's all women. We've got a guy joining the team soon.
Yeah. Well, we've got a guy that comes in for Soul Skin now and
but
again, but not
the full-time
day-to-day.
team there day to day is all women. And I swear, like, as soon as the girls in the office see how you talk to me, obviously it's all banter, but they see how you talk to me, and then slowly you start to see people getting at me, and I'm like, and then as they do, you start to like them more. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on?
Vibing them.
Sometimes I'd walk into the office, I hear a conversation, I think, just walk back out, because this is not going to end well for you.
No, I'm just really, I said this to you the other day, like, I'm really loving being in the office. Like, not for that reason, but I just really love the team, and
it's a good vibe.
It really is a really good vibe, and
it's taken us a while to get there. Like, hiring,
we're laughing so much. It's like,
it is good. I'm really
guys,
enjoying it.
So when this comes out next week, we have is that when we have our debut drop? I'm going to encourage everyone to buy, because basically Joel has said when it sells out, I can take the girls on the team to a brunch. So wait, so is it that one though?
Yeah.
I can't remember if it's the drop after.
So basically, but buy from the debut drop just so Sarah can take the girls in the office. Yes, please.
I would love that
for a lunch, which I'm somehow
it was
I'm not invited to, am I?
Well, no, because it's a girly brunch.
I love a brunch. Do you know what as well? It's so funny because at home I'm surrounded by women. In the office I'm surrounded by women. I feel so comfortable in those environments. I love a gossip.
You do.
I literally love a gossip. And I think recently some of the girls in the office have started to realise how much I love to gossip.
You do. I've always said that though, when we have our friends round, you would just sit with us. Like, you just, you love it. You'll make the tea.
Also, do you know what?
Fun fact, Sarah can't make a tea or coffee.
Sarah doesn't drink any hot drinks.
I don't drink any hot drinks, so my tea and coffee apparently is so terrible that even my kids won't drink it.
Yeah. And all the rest of us love tea. Like, even Maddie loves tea. Sophie, Chloe, Maddie, I'm always making tea.
Can't even stand the smell of it to even drink it.
But also it's weird because your family love tea. I never experienced tea drinking like I did when I first got to know your family. They take it so seriously. It is like they are getting paid to drink tea.
Because don't they like...
They are professional tea drinkers. Literally, I'd go to your house when I was younger and they'd be like, oh, do you want a tea? I'm like, yeah, I'll have a tea. Like, everyone drink a tea. 20 minutes later, who's putting the kettle on? I'm like, for what? Another tea? What is going on? Next thing you know, they've got me in it. I start drinking tea all day long. But they love it.
Don't like it.
Also, I was going to say, what I find interesting about you, there's lots of things I find interesting about you, but one of the things I find interesting about you is, you know, I think we spoke about this before, like, in the office, you can be, like, we've had to obviously fire some people from work when it hasn't worked out. And I think we've said before, I can't do it. I find it so hard. I'm having a panic attack. I'm pacing.
Yeah.
Even if you're like, this is right for the business, it's right for the person, it just needs to happen. You can just do it.
Yeah.
You can't make a phone call. Yeah. A phone call. You are so weird about phoning people, not people you know, but like, say,
not even people I know. You know that, right?
Even people you know.
Yeah.
And it's not even to pull them up on something. It's literally just, Grace had a detention at school. Right. And it was so unfair why she had this detention, because she basically got detention for not having her blazer. But when
she took Sophie's.
She took Sophie's
and Grace's, because they're the same colour. So she.
But when she got to school, she's got this tiny blazer. And she said to the teacher, here's my sister's blazer. It's in my hand.
Yeah.
You can see it's an honest mistake.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't need to be punished. You don't need to punish an honest mistake, right?
Yeah. Because she then had to carry that blazer around for the rest of the day.
That's her punishment right there. So anyway, So then you're like, can you ring the school and say Grace shouldn't have that detention? I'm like, why are you not doing
I'm
that?
at home doing nothing and you're
You
at work,
can't do
and
that,
I
but you can
can't. I
sack
struggle.
someone.
I honestly really struggle.
It's so strange.
But I only speak on the phone like you, obviously my mum and dad and my sister, but and one friend. The rest I just text, and I've just started voice noting. But I've noticed because of this whole thing of me not being able to talk, I am really awkward when I voice note. If you ever watch me, I'm like this on my phone, and I kind of look, and I look up and down, and I look around like and even someone voice note me back saying, "Where are you looking when you talk to me?" Because I must have been like, no, like, looking to the side with my.
Why
phone.
are you voice noting then?
I'm trying. I'm really trying.
But
to
no
be
one's like it doesn't. No one's asking you
no,
to
because
try.
sometimes I'm just.
You don't. It's not a thing you
because
need
I've
to.
noticed that we've been really busy. Like texting is, I can just
Yeah.
voice note as I'm doing
I love
something.
a voice note.
So I am trying.
Do you know what? The thing is with voice notes is I love to voice note, but I hate it when people voice note me because it's so much easier just to read it. And also if you need to go back, like there's information in there you need.
Yeah.
Like what time are we meeting tonight? And someone voice note you back like 7:30, we'll meet at this place. Da-da. If I need to remember, I have to go back and listen to you waffling for a minute.
You've got friends and you're meeting people at 7:30.
Okay, it's more work.
Yeah.
It's actually just what I don't really.
PM.
I'm not really that social. I don't have a lot of friends.
You do. We have
Got a
lots
few-
of friends.
got a
You
few
just went
good
up for your
ones.
birthday.
You're really
Fuck.
good at making friends though. I do have friends like.
Yeah, weirdly, I
do.
can't make phone calls, but I am social.
But
I like to be
all of my
social.
friends pretty much are from when I was like a lot younger. So I sort of made my group of friends around the age of like 16, 17.
Yeah.
And then I've just kept those. You're really good at like making new friends. I can't make new friends. I find it so hard.
Yeah. But is it weird that I can't talk on the phone? Is that a normal thing? Or is that
Why are
am
we
I
still talking
really-
about that? I was moving on to
Yeah,
how
I
you're
suddenly
really
just
sociable.
thought, like, I just suddenly thought,
course
is
that's
that weird
weird.
thing?
It's weird that it stresses you out when there's nothing to be
I
worried
remember
about.
going to work experience with my dad, and he worked at like a transport company, and he made me answer the phones, and I literally cried. Like,
So you think
"Can't
it's
do it."
childhood trauma?
No. As
That's
in,
the
I've
reason you
always
cried.
had it. It's
okay.
always been there. Like, I remembered that of being like, it well, obviously didn't make me, as in I continued, as in like I just couldn't do it. I was so like,
Oh, that's
so weird.
that is really strange. Anyway,
So you make phone calls all the time for me. So thank you very much for that.
the thing is, I don't get the phone call thing. Doesn't.
Even when I have to ring to tell school they're absent and it's a leave a message, I still get hot and sweaty. And I'm telling the truth.
Oh God.
Anyway, I feel like
Anyway.
we could say a couple of our pet peeves because we were laughing about these on the way, weren't we?
No, we weren't. What was we laughing about on the way?
On about the dog poo. That wasn't on the way.
We weren't
It was
laughing.
at the office.
I'm thinking, do I go along with this lie?
No.
I'm thinking, are you lying?
you know what?
Should I go along with it?
No.
I'm looking at you thinking, you need to give me a clue what's going on here.
It was when I was on the phone. No jokes. It was at the office. I'm talking about the.
Yeah, and you said, I'm going to bring this up on the podcast. I was like, please don't.
Why?
I don't know. I just think talking about dog poo is. So...
No, okay. I'm not going to talk about dog poo as such. Like, I'm going to talk about the fact that I find
Wait,
it
one
really
second.
funny.
I'm going to let you talk about it, but whilst you're doing that,
Oh God.
I'm just going to open the WKDs because I'm thirsty. But also, I just want to say thank you to Sarah because we didn't have a bottle opener on this show, and she got me this customized one that says Daddy's WKD. Yeah. And I love that. So thank you very much. So you go ahead with your dog poo story. I'm going to open the WKD.
Okay, fine.
Also, some people call it wicked. That's comments I got.
Oh, okay.
But-
Yeah, I have heard it's called Wicked.
Yeah, but I call it WKD.
We just call it Blue Drink. We actually call it Blue
Yeah,
Drink.
we call it blue drink.
No, I was saying in the office when we was laughing, the girls anyway were laughing with me. I find it really funny with when people walk their dog and they have dog poo bags. It's like then they hold it for so long. Like, but then I also saw an old lady and she picked it up and she was quite posh and she put it into her bag. And I'm like, if you're a dog walker, because obviously we don't have dogs, but are you holding it? Are you putting it in your bag? Or like my dad, put it in your pocket?
Both of it freaks me out. And I just say the answer is don't have a dog. Okay. Because like walking around, like also when I step in dog poo, I know everyone is annoyed, but it stresses me out on a different level.
Yeah.
It honestly gets to me. Like not a lot gets to me. It gets to me. If I've walked it through the house without knowing, I just think everywhere, and I'm not a germaphobe, and I'm like, everywhere is contaminated. we need to burn the house
I
down.
mean,
Like,
if you took your shoes off before you came in the house, just saying, like normal people, they wouldn't walk it.
so you never walk in the house with your shoes on?
No,
You
I always take my
take them
shoes
up by
off
the
as soon
door?
as at the door.
Oh, you are
Do you ever
so
see
full
my
of it.
shoes past the doorstep? Like I just literally
Do you
take them
think
off
I'd
because that's where the
take-
shoe rack is.
I don't take any notice.
So that's
But
why.
yeah, that's Sarah's pet peeve. So yeah, guys, in the comments, what are you? Are you a pocket pooper or are you holding it?
I didn't make that up, did I? My dad definitely put it in his pocket. Didn't he put it in his
Yeah, and he
pocket?
forgot about it for like a week. Do you know what one of my pet peeves is, right? Is honestly, this is like your phone thing where you can't talk on the phone. My pet peeve is people trying to interact with our kids when we're out in public or when they try and get their kids to interact with your kids, right? So what I mean by that is if you're somewhere, this happened to me the other day with Maddie.
So you mean with a baby, not with a
With a
kid,
baby.
like-
Or even if they're young, like if they're trying to have a conversation, I don't know why I find it so incredibly awkward and I just want it to end. So I took Maddie to a cafe and she was like turning around on a chair and looking at the baby behind. So then the dad turns around and he then says, the baby can't talk and Maddie's not saying anything. He's like, "Oh, what's your name?" to Maddie. And I'm like,
Madison.
"Oh, it's Maddie. What's your name?" This is now how.
No,
and I just want it
You're
to
both
end.
doing baby talk.
But I'm not really talking like a baby, but it's like, oh, you know how you talk because there's a baby involved. You're like, "Oh, go on, Maddie, say my name's Maddie." But she's not. So it's like, "Oh, my name's Maddie." You know, and like we're now having, these kids ain't talking. Just me and him are talking via the kids and it's freaking me out. And I just want it to end. And I'm like turning around. He's still going. So now I'm like, please. He doesn't seem.
I do find
some people don't mind. He doesn't mind. He's enjoying this interaction. He thinks this is like cute, wholesome, whatever. I feel so
your
awkward.
chance to make a friend.
That's why I can't make friends.
Yeah.
But do you like?
No, I totally agree.
So if
I've
the kids,
so many
even
times.
at the park, right? If the kids start like, if I'm with the kids and they start interacting with another kid that's with the parent, I almost want to like, either I'm walking off and do your thing, or
do your thing, not get any answers.
But like, I don't want to be involved in this scenario, and I don't know. I'm not rude.
No,
it's like your phone thing. I can't cope with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it does. It does get to me too. I do think it's quite funny. Of like, I don't think I do that. I think I would ask the adult like, "Oh, what's their name or how old are they?"
But also, like, do you care? Because I don't.
I think that's a like.
No, as in like
no natural thing. Like
do you know what it is? I think it's an ADHD thing. I'll probably blame anything on ADHD these days, but I think people with ADHD really don't like small talk. I can't stand. I get into a conversation with you. Like, I don't mind. I'll talk to anyone about, but just having small talk that means nothing. Like, what's your name? Like, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Like, my kid's called Maddie. What does it matter? Like,
I just thought of something that actually I know what else I do that really irritates you, because in a conversation you ask loads of questions. You will ask that person that's telling a story so many questions. I come back.
You
and
are the worst with gossip.
Oh, like this is this, and you're like, well, what about this, this, and this? And I'm like,
right. So Sarah will come to me and she'll be like, "Oh my god, listen to this," and I'm like, I love gossip, right? So I'm like, tell me what's going on, and she'll have something like really good, juicy. So I'm like, oh my god, and then what did they say back to them? And you're like, oh, I didn't ask that.
No.
Oh well,
I just
who else was there? You know, like I want to know everything, right? And you're like, oh, I didn't ask that. I'm like, oh, you are so rubbish. You are like, literally. I'm like, can you get that person on the phone? Can I ask them the questions?
But then I did see that TikTok of, remember it said like someone with ADHD. It's like someone was singing and then he was heckling, like asking questions. I can't remember the song, but if anyone's seen it on TikTok, it was so funny. I was like, that's you, because you literally.
I ask a million questions when people, but that's what I mean. Like, I can have a conversation like in depth. Like, I'll be curious about what you're talking about, but just the small talk stuff. As well, I always have to, if I write an email or a WhatsApp to someone that's not like a close friend, and I think, oh, I really want to ask, I don't know, Susan, who I've not spoke to in 2 years. I want to ask, like,
who's Susan?
Yeah.
Should I be concerned? I've never heard of a Susan.
Don't worry. Like I said, I haven't spoke to her in 2 years. So anyway, I will basically write, say, for example, I don't know, what do I want to say? Give me an example of something I might ask someone I haven't spoke to in 2 years.
How you been doing?
No, as in like I want to ask them a question, like as in
how's your business going?
No, I don't. No, I want to ask them a specific thing. I need information from them. What was the name of that?
Oh.
What was the name of that person that did that? What was the name of that builder that did that work for you? Because I want to use him, right? So I'll write, hey, what was the name of that builder? Can you send me his number? Then I'll look at it and I think, I'll go back to being like, hey, how are you? How's it going? Hope you're well. Hope, and I have to like fluff it out a bit. And it pains me because I just want the information.
I just thought about something that did happen on the way here. When I'm driving, I didn't have my phone and I asked you to send a text off my phone. You got my phone and went, hey. You talked like trying to be me like, hey, how are you? Like you do, like I can picture how you're writing because you're talking
I want to
like,
put multiple Y's, like, hey. Because the thing is, and this has happened quite a lot, I've messaged off your phone, right?
And you do that.
And I say to you, well, what would you say? Like, and I start thinking, should I say, hey, hun? Because you wouldn't like me sending a message saying,
no,
just being blunt
short,
and to the point. So I think, oh, you want me to, like, so what are you going to say? Hey, hun, how many kisses are we putting at the end? I literally think, yeah, I do actually do that.
You
Talk
do
like
that.
you. Yeah, I want to represent you well on the WhatsApp.
Thank you. I need to go back and just check you definitely did.
No, but the person I was WhatsApping back, they said something that you would have asked questions about, like, oh, like, sorry to hear, like, they weren't feeling well saying, and I just skipped that. But what I did do is I said, hey, sorry, I'm just driving at the minute. So that's the reason why you haven't asked. So you later, you need to ask how they're doing.
Okay, cool. All right.
My sister, by the way.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome. But yeah, so what was we going to... Oh, that's what we was going to say, because I knew that we said we were going to talk about and we haven't spoken about.
Yeah, because it was in the back of my mind as well. Cause I didn't want another episode go by and you went, you didn't talk about the negativity.
Yeah, so... When we started this podcast, we've been saying this in the first episodes, like, oh, like it's a safe space for us. Like this is a place where we can share more because we feel like the audience won't be as viral, won't be as big. So it's kind of like our core audience who watch us. But for the first time ever, we suddenly are getting some negativity online. Yeah. And it's so strange because...
I think I expected a little bit. I feel like because we're not with the kids and we are on a bit of a mature, I do think you kind of slightly open yourself up to it, but I don't.
So basically, on the main like YouTube video of this podcast, like we love reading the comments. The comments are so nice, so positive, and people just loving the podcast. And those are, I guess, the people that have followed for us a long time. They know us.
And it's
they get our characters. They know our banter.
Our banter between us. They know like.
So the negativity is coming.
The love is there. Like our band. That's just how we are with each other. You know, like.
Yeah. Okay. Shush. I'm talking. No, joking.
Just
joke, guys. Joke.
Just respect.
So the negativity is coming from the short form clips that are coming from the podcast and being posted on TikTok. There's been a bit of negativity on Instagram, but mostly on TikTok. And it's mostly, I guess, just people who don't actually watch us, don't watch the long form content. And they're just so opinionated.
Which I don't mind. Actually, like when we watch something, we might be opinionated, but not to them.
Yeah, like
I just don't get it. Like
I feel like people think that when you're, I don't want to say we're famous. Like I don't want to be like
even put content out because it can be anybody.
When I think people think that when you have an audience, like a large following, that it almost like you aren't a real person and you don't really exist. Yeah. And they will talk about you on your own content in the comments as if you aren't there. It's almost like we're all in the same room together, right? Yeah. You two are talking about us. Yeah. And you think, what, that doesn't affect us?
And a lot of them as well, fully grown women. Like, I just think, as a woman, no, but like, I just would never do that. I would never put a negative comment on it. If I'm not liking the content I'm seeing, swipe past it. Like, I genuinely can't get my mind around it, how people think it's okay. You would never say that to somebody in person. Why is it okay? It's a bit like road rage. Like,
oh, that's a pet peeve of mine.
Yeah, you would never just swear if someone pushed in. Like, you just don't. It's just like.
But the thing is, it's like, yeah, it's so strange because it's kind of like I get it. We're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. That is fine. Yeah. There's people that cannot stand me, I'm sure. And
me.
People that can't stand you.
No, me, I'm one of them. Joke.
These accounts are you, aren't they? There's obviously
it,
there's
yeah.
influencers and YouTube and stuff and people that I don't know if there's anyone I can't stand, but there's people I dislike. I disagree with their points of view. I scroll past it. Like, I could never imagine, even if I had a fake account, I could never imagine stopping
and
going on the comments and just letting them know how much I dislike them or disagree with their comment. I just can't get in the mindset.
And my head also thinks, like, for when it's like a woman who may have a child, like, you're commenting. Imagine if your child does start doing TikTok content, because it can be easy to go viral on TikTok, right? So anyone could do a little dance and it could go viral. Like, and if people are negative towards them, like, how are you feeling? Like, I just think people should just stop and question, not even just on our content, on anyone's. Like, I was actually personally upset by it because Casey had rang me because she had seen it. I was okay. I'm like, I'm thick-skinned and, you know, we put ourselves out there. But I didn't like that Casey had seen it, and I just...
Yeah. Also, do you know what else I think is such a cop-out is when people say, yeah, but you put yourself out there, so it comes with the territory. You're opening yourself up. Okay, well, let's frame that in some different scenarios, right? You go to the theatre, yeah? There's actors on stage. They're putting themselves out there, right? They're doing what they enjoy. They have an audience. You dislike the performance or they sing out of tune. What are you doing? You standing up and going, boo, this is shit. Like, yeah, oh my God, look what she's wearing. Like, you just wouldn't do it. You would say to yourself, I don't enjoy that. Yes, they are putting themselves out there, but I'm not going to go as far to like scream abuse at them. But you're not doing anything different when you're commenting. Also, this is a slightly more funny one, right? Because this is what I mean about, I think some people would want us to be hurt by the comments. And I get that people are malicious, but I also think there's a lot of people who write comments and just, it doesn't register to them that we're real people and we will read the comments and they could affect us, right? So, and this is an example of it, it's quite funny. We posted a video, it was ages ago, right? I posted it on my Instagram, and in the video, because we were on holiday and it was by the pool, I had my top off, right? And at this time, I had put on quite a bit of weight, right? It wasn't that long. It was, after lockdown, whatever. I was at my heaviest, right?
Yeah.
Top off. This girl tags her dad in the comment on my page, right? And she says, we were doing a challenge, she said, this looks fun, we should do this on holiday, or something like that. The dad writes back to her on my page and he goes, God, the dad's put on weight, hasn't he?
You're like, ugh.
And I literally wrote back,
it was at this moment I went on a diet.
It's stuck in my head. It was over 2 years ago. It's stuck in my head. But
he probably didn't.
I wrote back and I wrote say like, all right, mate, lockdown wasn't easy on
some of us,
on a lot of us. And I put laughing faces, almost like, but he sort of like, oh, sorry, like laughing faces back. But I don't think it registered to him that like, I'm going to read that, and that's like, you wouldn't...
Depending on like how old he is of like understanding, he might have thought that comment just goes to her, which is...
No, he didn't.
Oh, okay.
No, that ruins my theory. My theory is...
being nice about him, because maybe...
No, why? He fat shamed me. Why are you being nice about him?
But I'm like... This is us, when people's opinions, they can say what they want, but it's like
my point is, I genuinely don't think when people write some of these comments where they're talking about you in third person, they're not saying you, they're almost saying, oh, can't believe Sarah, or can't believe Joel talks to Sarah like this, blah, blah, blah. I think some of them don't actually register that like we're reading that.
No, but can I say, like, against the negativity, we actually do have a lot of positivity. And what I really do love is that we don't actually always have to stick up for ourselves. Well, we don't actually ever do. But people that do know us would be like, no, actually,
it is nice to
with
see.
Grace the ADHD, no, if you watch, Grace is always very open with it. They would never talk about something they couldn't. Or Joel's...
It is nice when people jump in and defend us, because then it I don't know, like, it shouldn't have, like, we should be thick skinned, we shouldn't let it affect us, but it does. Sometimes it does.
It does. And it's weird. The ones that were about me didn't affect me, but the ones that were about you affected me.
Which is so weird.
I did actually feel a little bit down today before we came in to film, even though...
And the ones that were about you didn't bother me, and the ones that were about me bothered me. So we're on the same page there.
No, the disrespect.
No, I'm joking. But
no, actually, like, even here, we're still quite tame. The way we are with each other, like, really, our friends and family know
Our
Like,
banter is like, but that's
we
what keeps
cut
our
deep in our banter,
not
but
too deep, but that's what I think I love about our relationship is we can take banter to the point of people go, oh, and we are still
yeah,
laughing.
yeah.
Like when we're both trying to lose weight, I don't know if we should say this, but we fat shame each other, and it's funny, right? It's funny.
No, the funniest
You
thing.
fat shame me
No,
way
wait,
more
no,
than I
because
do
I'm
it to
gonna
you.
laugh.
No, because
No,
sometimes when I do it back to you, you do get a bit sensitive, and I'm like, okay.
no. Yeah, I don't. Sorry, but the funniest thing is that we hadn't told anyone we were going to. So when we went into the office,
Oh
and I
God, that
did
was
it,
awkward.
I did it in front of everyone. And everyone were like, like, and you just looked at me like, ow, like.
Yeah,
So
I
everyone
really
thought it was serious,
I
and no
proper
one
played
knew
up
what,
to it. I didn't come back with a
yeah.
joke. I was just like, oh wow, that's
Is that what
like,
you went?
is that what you're
Is that
doing?
what we're doing?
Fat shaming me now, yeah.
And I'm laughing my head off. I can't remember what I said, but
But
yeah.
I remember as well because I said it in front of your mum and dad. Like I was saying to them because we were both trying to lose weight and we were getting annoyed with ourselves, and we were like, we wanted each other to hold each other accountable to
Yeah.
it. So then when I was saying, do you know what? Because like I would always say to you, like, you look amazing. You don't need to lose weight. Like you look incredible. Like, and I said to you the other day, it actually gets me down when you talk so bad about yourself and how you look, because I'm like, and I know, and I said this to you, it sounds so cringe and so cheesy,
No, it's actually
but
very
it's so true. Is if you could see yourself through my eyes, I wish you could. I honestly wish you could, because all of those
feels like a
things.
therapy session now.
No, but all of those things that you say about yourself and you think about yourself would be gone in like a second.
Yeah.
And so it does get me down when you are talking negatively about your body and stuff. But going away from that, I was saying, because you would say, oh, you don't need to lose weight. And I say, you don't need to lose weight. And I'm like,
But we
this
both
isn't
felt-
helping each other.
Yeah.
I was like, if we both say we want to lose weight, then what we need to be saying is, yeah, you do, you fat pig. You do need to lose weight. And if like I would
Or
go
a little tap tap on the belly as they walk past.
and I would go and grab, like, say I'm grabbing ice cream from the freezer, you'd give me a look and be like, oh, all right, fatty bum bum. Like,
No,
but
we do push it to the limits, but
Yeah.
it's us. Like, and I feel like we know that when
we know the boundaries.
if we were being serious, like if it was an actual full on argument, it changed. We'd not that.
We stop with any insult. We don't
Yeah.
insult in
I mean, well,
arguments.
sometimes I do insult because I'm not very good at arguing.
Oh, this is actually a really good point. This is actually a
I
good
was gonna say,
topic.
this is a really good podcast. I was like,
Oh,
okay.
this is a
all
brilliant
right,
podcast.
jeez.
This is like, no, this is
This is
fantastic.
just flowing. This is just like one
No, do you know what? You've got better at this, but
I try, yeah.
so if me and Sarah, in the past, if me and Sarah had a big argument, right? I am incredibly good at arguing, right? Like,
Honestly,
no, I am.
I say this all the time to anybody. People have always heard me. I'm like, I could be arguing that I'm wearing a grey tracksuit, right? It's a grey tracksuit. And then when
For the people listening, she is actually wearing a
I
grey
am
tracksuit.
actually wearing a grey tracksuit, but Joe will be arguing that I'm wearing a gold tracksuit. And by the end of the argument, I am now like, okay, maybe I've got a gold tracksuit on because you're so good. Like, I remember you even said at school, they said you should have been a lawyer because you were so like, like you are so good.
My
with
logic
points.
and like I can like
Yeah.
dissect an argument, and also what I do
And you say
in my
very
arguments
calm.
is I do not get emotional.
And I'm
I
so
stick
emotional.
purely to facts, right?
So
then what happens
you
is
are
Sarah
F that.
Sarah erupts, right? And she absolutely, and she gives me some cutting insults, yeah? And you call me all
I
the
don't
names under the
anymore.
sun.
No, not anymore.
You've got better.
I have got
You have
better.
got better, but I'm like,
Actually, we don't really argue.
I
like
walk
that.
away from that. At that point, I walk away. I'm like, I'm not engaging in this because
Yeah.
like, I think that's drawing a line. For me, that's my boundary is like, nah, you've
Yeah.
actually crossed it now. But I get it though, it's your frustration because you're just like,
Oh, honestly.
you're like, oh, I can't argue with you.
It's
You're
literally
just
boiling.
yeah.
Like,
But
because
do
you
you not think that I win the arguments because I'm right?
No.
because
No,
if you
I'm
wa-
saying I know it's a grey tracksuit.
no, because that's
It's not
extreme. I
gold.
don't lie. I don't tell you something. I don't
No.
tell you something's gold when it's grey.
No, but you know what I'm
I
saying.
give you the
isn't it? Like,
facts and the logic.
But it's no.
'Cause
But
I
there's
always
also
think-
because you
I
say
think-
you take the emotion out of it. Sometimes it is about emotion and then
Yeah.
feelings and your.
That's one thing I needed
That's-
to take on board is
yeah.
that I think generally, I'm going to generalize, is that men are more logical and women are more emotional.
Oh, definitely. Well, I
So when I approach an argument or something, I'm very black and white. It's very logic.
Mine's a beautiful rainbow.
No, it's not. Yours is a
Thunderclouds.
thunderstorm.
No,
Literally.
that's when you then start like.
Yeah. So I just try and pick it apart. But yeah, talking of arguments, I mean, well, so we have this section and I'm waiting for it to come, and I think it's giving me anxiety because I don't know what's coming. Sarah will do a bit on the podcast every week where she's going to tell you guys something that I've done in the week to really annoy her. And we've come up with a name for it, like this section.
Yeah.
You don't remember it? You don't remember it?
No.
I knew you wouldn't remember it.
Honey,
I'm pregnant.
Honey, I'm home.
Honey, we need to talk.
Honey, we need to talk. Like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it's so patronising already.
Okay.
Do you have something for me?
Can anyone else see the eye roll?
Do we have something? Do you have something for me or?
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know, because we've actually only had like, and I don't. When I said argument, it wasn't argument. It's a bicker. Like, it's not like the argument we just.
I was thinking we've not really argued a lot lately.
When I first said about doing this in the podcast, I felt like there would be a lot more, but we're
in a good place right now.
We are, like, yeah, but
we're not on the rocks.
I was a little bit upset by you this week. Because you'd basically come home from work and said, I need to film something this evening. And I'm like, look, it's 10 to 8. I'm just putting Chloe to bed. Like I've said, I had to lay with Chloe. So I'm like, I'm just got to put the kids to bed. I haven't even eaten yet. And I was like, I just can't even really think about that right now. And you were like, okay, well, what are you having for dinner? I was like, to be fair, I'd probably have like beans on toast, nothing. So you're like, okay, cool, I'll make some eggs. So I said, okay, you sort that. You go down, and I said to you, can you sort getting the cheese and stuff, because I didn't have cheese, so you had to deliver some or go get some. And I'll lay with Chloe. Well, this evening, Chloe was just taking a little bit longer. So then when I came down, I thought she was asleep. She wasn't. I had to go back up, and that's when the Deliveroo stuff had arrived. So I'm like, okay, cool. You're going to sort dinner. I'm going to go upstairs. Go back upstairs, and come down. You've made your dinner, and mine's nowhere to be seen. And it's now like 8:30. And I'm like, wow, is that what we're doing? You're like, what? I'm like, where's my dinner? And you was like, oh, shit, I forgot. Like, yeah. I'm smiling now because...
You were smiling at the time. So just to maybe add some context there, when you
the black and white situation.
When you came down, we were, for the first time from laying with Chloe, we were both in the kitchen. And the vibe was that we were just both going to make our dinner in the kitchen together. I was making scrambled eggs. You were having beans on toast. We weren't having the same thing, okay? I got the vibe that you were going to make yours. So then when Chloe woke up and you went up, and I shouldn't be able to blame everything on my ADHD.
No,
but
can I just just add there quickly? Quickly of like, it was I'll do the bedtime, you sort the dinner. It's not like... It
wasn't. You just said, could you get me some cheese from Deliveroo? But...
When you're like, well, wait, babe,
in a minute,
what are you going to have for dinner?
In a second, I'm going to agree with you. But first of all, I'm just trying to add some context, okay? So, we were both in the kitchen together.
Wait.
You know, the vibe was I was going to make my eggs, you were going to make that. Then you went, oh, Chloe's up again, so I'm going to go up and sort Chloe. In my mind, and this is, I do admit that I do this, I couldn't switch... like consciously switch from the fact of like, now I'm going to make both dinners. Because if I consciously thought of that, of course I would have made you dinner. I was like thinking about whatever, and I'm now in autopilot mode. I'm making eggs. I even sat down and ate the eggs. When you came downstairs, I just finished my dinner. When you said, oh, and I looked up and realized, oh my God, I was like, I am actually such a prick. That is so selfish of me, but it wasn't conscious. I didn't ever think for 1 second, like,
no, I don't
I'm not going to make you dinner.
Conscious.
But I did look up and I went, and by this point, I realized that you are now like, I think this is the only thing, like sometimes you do deep things like maybe just slightly too much that I know like it's going to be really hard for me to now turn this around. Like I can't just say like, I'm really sorry. Like, I'm like, oh, that's fine. Like, I'll make you beans. No, I don't want you to make beans on toast anymore. I'll make it myself. It won't taste very
nice if you make it.
No. And I'm wrestling the bread off of you. And I'm like, well, I'm going to make it. No, I'm making it. And you're like, I don't want you to make it.
Again, this is where the emotion
And I'm like, let me make it up to you. And you could just be like, okay, yeah, cool. But you don't.
No, because it wasn't that. I was like, I'm here now. I can just make it. I didn't need you to then make it. But the whole thing was...
No, but I wanted to make it up to you.
No, but you didn't need... That's what I'm saying. I'm there now. I can just make it. It feels awkward. Like, okay, you make me dinner and I go sit and wait for it. Like, I could have then just made it. That's what I'm trying to say is like, it was the whole thing of...
You didn't think of me.
You didn't think of me. I'm putting Chloe to bed.
That is one of the things that you really hate is like when I don't think of you.
Yeah.
But I'm such a not thoughtful person.
But then you'd made a heart in the beans.
So basically, I'm now making it. She's sitting in the front room. She always has the beans on the side of her toast. I know how she likes it. Sprinkled the cheese on the beans. And now I've got a knife and a spoon and I'm making a heart out of the beans. And I'm getting it perfect, right? I'm getting the lines and I'm getting the roundness. Everything.
Sarah's about to be petty.
I'm spending quite a bit of time perfecting his heart. You're sitting in the dark in the living room, not just crying, but you're watching TV.
I was watching TV.
Watching TV, but you're in the dark, right?
Yeah.
So I'm walking in with the plate, but I'm thinking, oh, she's not going to notice it. So I went, oh, I just turn the light on so I don't trip. And without even looking up at me, you went, or is it just so I can see the heart you made on the plate? And I was so angry, I scrambled the beans into a big
you're not even
mess.
going to see the heart.
You're not even going to see the heart. And I just basically threw it at you.
But then you came back in and was like, how the hell did you know I'd done a heart? Like, how did you know that?
You was like...
Because so many in our relationship, I'll be able to say something. You're like, how did you know that? Like...
How did you know?
Yeah.
You heard me tapping away with the knife, didn't you? You thought he's obviously... You know me too well, though. You know I'd do that.
Yeah, I do know you too well. It's like with the presents, you're like, I just know what you've got me. Do you know about that time we were laying in bed and I was like, can you stop thinking? And you were like, what? I was like, I
feel like we said this on one of the other podcasts.
I can hear your brain. Did we? Oh, okay.
I think so, yeah. You literally... my brain... Because if I get into bed, I just go to sleep straight away. So, and I wasn't.
It was irritating.
And you weren't even facing me and you were like, I can hear you thinking. You stop. And I'm like, how did you know? You're such a creep.
Sorry. What about a little update of our girl traveling?
Casey.
Now, who's, not Grace.
That's so funny. You're so petty. Yeah, honestly, mate, you are. You're never getting a heart beans again. Ever.
Sorry.
Yeah, Casey, she's in Thailand. She's having a great time. Let's move on.
Oh.
Stop trying to use Casey for clout on the podcast.
Oh, stop it. I'm just so proud of her.
I'm very proud of her.
All the time.
I'm so proud of her. She's having the time of her life.
She is, but she's got very bad earache. That was the update of this week. She's been ringing me that with really bad earache, so she had to go and get some antibiotics, bless her, because the flight over to Thailand meant it go into her head. So
yeah,
feel for her, but she's doing good.
No, she's having a great time, but also good news because she didn't have a return date that she was coming home because she was like, oh, I don't know, I'll see how it goes. And we were thinking, oh God, it could be like 6 months, could be a year because she could just never come back. But then she's actually coming back because she misses us so much for one, and two, because she wants to come to Mexico because we're all going to Mexico as a family. And she was like, I'm coming.
Just booked her flights. She's all sorted.
Also, how cute is this? Casey got a tattoo whilst away, and she got 1986, which is the year that me and Sarah were born. What?
Why did I think 1995?
You're such a crank.
I don't know. I'm like, wait.
So the year that me and Sarah were born, 1986, and she FaceTimed us to show because she misses us so much, and I was like, that is the cutest thing. Cute.
You nearly cried.
Yeah, honestly.
And you was in an interview, probably the one that you got brain fog.
It was literally that interview.
That interview.
Yeah, it was that interview.
I feel like we should do a couple of the dilemmas now. I feel like it's got juicy time for dilemmas.
Let me get... So guys, these are the dilemmas that you guys send in. So if you DM us on our podcast Instagram, that's where you can send it to us. Okay, so we'll always try and do one, and if we'll see how it goes if we do 2 or 3.
Yeah, and remember guys, like what we say isn't like what you have to do. So please don't like...
And also like, I just want to say like, we're not doing anything that's like super serious. So we're not professionals. We can't give you advice about like things like serious things. I'm not going to say. Okay, so don't send those to us because I can't be responsible.
Imagine if I'm just in the replying like personally to them, like, girl, you
leave that him. Man. You can do better. Right, it's quite long, so I'm going to potentially try and summarize it. So it's from a mum. She's saying, should a 22-year-old son who works and has his own money buy a replacement Christmas present for his mum when 2 months later it still hasn't arrived? Yeah, I'm still waiting. He's given up trying to get a refund and doesn't seem like anything else is on its way. And to add insult to injury, we paid for him to join us on 2 very expensive family holidays in the last 9 months. A gift at Christmas isn't too much to ask, surely.
Oh.
And she just said that her son introduced her to our podcast and she's loving it.
Aww.
And that also she said that just like Sarah, she's always right. And just like Joel, her husband, just apologizes for a quiet life. Yeah,
Sounds
fair
lovely.
play.
Well done.
So,
Yeah. Oh, of course. Like,
of course, what?
he should get her a replacement
But
present.
everyone always says, right, it's the thought that counts. He had the thought, he purchased the present, didn't arrive.
No,
Like, it's not.
no. I feel like if he's watching, he needs to go and buy her a present or take her out. A little
His
afternoon
name's
tea.
Ben.
It's
by
actually
the way,
Mother's Day
Ben.
coming.
Ben, listen up.
Actually, Ben, it's Mother's Day as well coming up this week. So actually,
Yeah, but she might be expecting double gifts.
double gifts. Go out, get a Christmas present, wrap it in Christmas wrapping
Did
paper.
he even buy the Christmas present, or did he
Well,
just
we
pretend
don't know that, but
and say, "Oh, it didn't turn up"?
I think it is hard to buy gifts. Like I think sometimes it is hard to buy a gift, but I feel like for a mum, like it is also about like time. So if
Also,
the girls want me like, to go out for like afternoon tea
Yeah.
or like took me for a little lunch, I'd be more than happy with that than the gift itself.
Also, I'm guessing from the tone of the message, from what I read, it's a bit of banter that's going on in
Yeah.
the house. It's not
Yeah.
that serious. Like the mum's like, "Why is he not buying me a
No,
Christmas
no, I don't
present?"
think
But
so.
I do think if I was Ben, it would be playing on my mind that
Yeah.
I'd feel like, I'd think about it every now and again. So even Ben, for your own sanity, get your mum the Christmas present, and you'll feel better. Right,
Yeah.
your mum's going to feel better. She's going to feel appreciated. The thing is with mums and dads, right, and we can speak from experience because we are mums and dads, is it really doesn't matter what the present is. It's
No.
the fact that your kid thought about you, and that
Yeah.
you, until you're a parent, you won't realize that it really is the thought.
Yeah.
It's the fact that they thought about you
Yeah.
is the sweetest thing.
It really is. You're right. You've hit the nail on the head. I
Yeah,
think it just means so much.
yeah.
Yeah.
And also, like, obviously, I don't know what sort of budget is for the gift, but I bet as well, like, even if you said to your mum, like, "I'll take you out for a Nando's,"
Yeah.
that's your gift. I bet
Yeah.
she'd absolutely love it, or something. Just something. It's just the thought. When kids are thoughtful about you, it's so unexpected as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That when they do think about you, like Casey's tattoo
Yeah.
was so unexpected.
Especially while she's away and we're missing her so much. It was.
Yeah, but I was traveling at 18. Like the last tattoo I would be getting is something about my mum and dad.
Yeah.
So it's so sweet. And yeah, so that's that.
Oh, I hope he does. Can she write in and let us know?
Yeah, keep us updated.
Let us know what you got for Mother's Day, which is on Sunday. So have you got my Mother's Day gift yet? Have you planned Mother's Day for me? What are we doing Mother's Day? Anything?
What we doing Mother's Day? Caught me off guard there.
Oh.
So many plans, surprises, all surprises.
Oh, I can't wait to find out.
Oh, just so many.
To be fair, normally
choose
on
from.
Mother's Day,
It's more about your mum.
yeah.
And
It
Father's
is.
Day is more about your dad
Yeah.
than it is about me.
I feel like
Which is fine.
Since my brother's passed away,
Yeah.
I feel like we as a family just
Gather around them.
grow. Yeah,
And like, it's
yeah.
about them.
Their birthdays, Mother's Day, Father's Day, like we.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's going to make me feel really upset. I don't know. That's really weird. Like, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, it is kind of emotional, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, because whenever we talk about Father's Day, it's always about what we're doing for your dad, which is fine. Like I'm good with that. I like that.
Yeah, and I love that you. I like that because.
Yeah.
And we both.
I think when's
really
it my
want
turn, bruv? Come
Yeah.
on, you get all the Father's Days. When's it? What does Joel want to do? You know? No, I'm joking. No, so it's always revolves around
nice,
your mum
yeah.
or your dad for
So
Mother's
we'll
Day.
probably do a
We
meal
still
all
get each
together.
other gifts though.
And with my sister as well, like my sister's family.
You didn't get me anything last Father's Day, did you? Do you remember that?
What did I?
No, you was really bad.
What?
Yeah, he was really bad. You was like, I didn't get you.
No.
No, I'm pretty sure.
I always get you something.
Other than last year. I'm
Why-
pretty
like,
sure
there
you
would
even
be a
said,
reason then.
I think you said, I feel so bad. I didn't get you anything. Da, 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 da. And I
always-
said, well, you wait till Mother's Day. Wait. Because I'm not getting you nothing.
Oh.
No, I'm joking.
I don't actually remember.
I'm pretty sure you did, but I don't. These things don't stick in my
Well, a
head.
little reminder, guys, you've got Mother's Day coming up. So if you need to go out or quickly moonpig some.
Mother's Day as well. Like, it's not the gifting is kind of. There's
It's not
no.
a big gift.
It's not set in
No.
stone, is it? Like,
No.
it's not really. It's like, is it a pair of trainers? Is it a box of chocolates? Is it a bouquet of flowers?
I
What
feel
are
like-
you expecting from me?
Yeah.
What have I got you previously for Mother's Day?
Actually, it's normally little, but one Mother's Day you actually bought me a Louis Vuitton makeup bag.
Yeah. I don't know why.
I don't know why, but it was
I got
lovely.
confused. I think I got confused. I was like, is it Christmas at her birthday?
Mother's
I don't know.
Day, birthday.
I was like, get her something expensive.
So, I mean, you've now set expectations.
No. Oh my goodness. I got you that bouquet of flowers for Valentine's Day, and they turned up and they were what they were in the picture online versus what turned up.
Yeah.
I was so embarrassed. I was showing you the picture. That's not what I ordered.
Yeah.
Look, this is what I ordered. They look really nice. They were so bad. Okay, I've got another dilemma.
Go for it.
We don't have tons of spare income. This year, my husband wants to decorate the living room and hallway. It's quite bad from previous owners. But I'd rather we went on holiday. We've not been for 3 years. Our 3 girls are all now at brilliant ages. No more nappies, etc. We both understand why each of us wants to do the other thing. Which one would you both choose? On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, holiday.
Make the memories. 100%
Yeah.
holiday. Those kids and them as well.
They won't remember the hallway.
Firstly, like
They won't care.
No, you
The
won't look
holiday.
back and be like, do you remember that lovely wallpaper we had and whatever.
Yeah. I mean, they
But
are
the
saying it's quite
memories-
bad from
Yeah.
previous, but I honestly, the thing that I never regret spending money
Yeah.
on is travel.
So a childhood thing, when I look back at family photos, we've laughed at like the wallpaper or the sofas or whatever I would have had as a child. I don't remember that, but I remember every single caravan holiday.
Yeah.
Like, or the time that we went on holiday and it was actually really cold and my mum made us take our coats off and run down the hill and pretend it was really sunny. And we were like, like running down this hill for a great photo. It's an amazing memory. There's always, and that's, I feel like for us, that's why we do a lot of holidays, because it is time.
I think as well,
to
that also shows
like
that you do
quality
not,
time.
and it doesn't have to be an expensive holiday.
It really does.
I mean, I know like we are fortunate enough to be able to go on expensive holidays, but Sarah's childhood, she went on like cheap holidays.
Yeah.
And the memories you have from there. And to be fair, I also did some of those kind of Pontins, Butlins holidays as a kid, and I've got fond memories.
But I just think, and it's what we always say about Casey, is like it's about the memories. The kids will look back, and they are so much more important. Like,
Yeah.
And maybe try do a cheaper holiday and then just save a little bit longer for that, so you can try and do both at some point within the
Also,
year.
what about if you could just like fix up the hallway, but like just do it like super cheap? Get the 3 kids doing it. That's over.
to go on holiday?
Yeah.
For a little bit of holiday spending money.
Give them a
Get
box of crayons.
white
Be like,
paint.
right,
a little bit of white
make
paint.
this look nice.
Yeah.
Here's some Crayola.
No, I really hope they do. Like I hope they do.
Also, why don't you ask the
memories.
kids?
Yeah.
Like, as in like from an emotional point of view of like to win the husband over. Like, what do the
that's
kids
deep.
want to
You're
do?
going in deep. If I did that with the kids, if I was like, you'd be like, you can't say no to that, and that's not very fair.
Like when we were younger, when we first had kids, like we lived in some pretty shocking places, and I don't know, just
Yeah.
yeah.
But obviously ours is like we work a lot, and we're not spending as much time as with the girls as we used to before, obviously Saturday Vu and Soulskin. But that's why for our holidays for us is so important, because it makes us stop, we switch off, and we've got quality time, and we just they're just the best. Yes, if you can, then I would say do the holiday.
Yeah.
Hands down. That's
Yeah, definitely. Cute.
Again, can they write in and let me know that they went on their holiday?
Send us pictures.
Oh,
That would be
I love
cute.
that.
This next thing Sarah's just like communicating with everyone on the DMs of like getting updates about their dilemmas.
Wow, pretty full on podcast today.
Yeah, it flowed, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah. Thanks to me. Anyway, guys, make sure you subscribe. Make sure that you check out our podcast
If you're listening
every
on Spotify, you cannot
Tuesday.
see the eye rolls.
They can feel it. Every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Can you do us a massive favor? If you're watching on YouTube, could you subscribe? Leave us a comment. Honestly,
A nice comment, please.
no. Yeah, imagine just loads of
Please.
negative comments. If you're listening on Spotify or wherever you listen to the podcast, could you rate the podcast 5 stars preferably, but obviously rate it how you think
Come on, I
and
wanna
leave a
feel like
review.
Adele again, get us to number 1.
No, like it's honestly, it does mean so
Hello.
much to us. I'm rapping. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to have a serious conversation with the audience, and you're over here singing Adele.
Hello.
Goodbye. That's what we're singing. Goodbye, guys. Right. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and I'm sorry about her.